Hey, what's up everybody? It's Bear with Bear Tactics Shooting and Innovations. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Also, smash that bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video. If you're already a subscriber, I appreciate you. Thank you for the support. In today's video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and reviewing of new target systems from TA Targets. I'm excited to make this review for you guys today. Hopefully this leads to a future partnership from this company. Alright, so the first box I'm going to open is their top hardware, and basically what that is this is just their 2x4 bracket that mounts to a 2x4 that fits into their bases, and then you go ahead and you mount your target system to these target toppers, as they call them, and then they mount to your 2x4s. Okay, so the first target that I'm going to open is their 1/2-inch C-Zone. Now this one is rated for rifle and magnum calibers, all right, and it's a pretty stout design. Let's get the box out of the way. All right, so this is cool because on here it's steel targets for all modern arms, right? It gives you like a cool little picture and everything on what it comes from. And then down here they have it labeled 1/2-inch AR 550 target system. Pistols, you can shoot 10 yards or at a minimum of 10 yards. 223, 556 is 30 yards. 308 is 50 yards. And then magnum rifles, so anything bigger than 308 is 100 plus yards. Every single one of their targets comes with these little stickers, and it also is labeled because if you look on the front, there's no like indication or labeling that this is a 1/2-inch, 3/8 inch, whatever inch this steel is itself. You'd have to measure it. Now up here at the top, it comes with a bracket and a little pin. It's a little bit tight from when they fitted it. However, you slide your top bracket that mounts to your 2x4 on here, align your holes, reposition your cotter pin, and then this mounts. Now when it mounts to the 2x4, this allows you the multiple cuts and the multiple holes in the mounting bracket that's mounted directly to the target, allows you to set a variable cant. Later on in the video, I'll show you what it looks like all set up, and the cant rise and different like that, and we'll talk about why the cant is important on steel targets. So the other target that I got from TA Targets is their 3/8 AR 550, and this one is rated for pistol at 10 yards, rifle up to 308, 50 plus yards, and then magnum rifles 100 plus yards. So the reason I got two, I got the 1/2-inch and the 3/8 inch to test for y'all, and one is specifically rated for pistol at closer distances, and then one is rated for rifle at closer differences. So from shoulder to shoulder, I have this measuring at 11 3/4, and then from, we'll say, waist to head, I have this measuring at 23 5/8. So if you look at a normal cardboard Ivan, it's measuring the same exact size as a cardboard Ivan. Pretty cool. Again, stay tuned for later on in the video. We're going to put these up on stands, and I'll talk about their bases and then why TA Targets is far superior to all the other steel manufacturing companies on the market, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm going to talk about TA Target's old 20-inch round base. Now this base is a couple years old. They have made some improvements, significant improvements to the bases, but this is how I was introduced to TA Targets. All right, so in 2021, I think it was, I bought 3 of their bases. So I got 2 20-inch round bases and then an arachnid base, which they no longer make. But the reason I went with these is after doing an insane amount of research and stuff like that, I found that TA Targets had some of the best bases on the market. And the reason I say that is because they're circular in nature. They are 20 inches wide, so 20 and a half inches wide from inside to inside. Outside they're like 22. All right, but they have already welded together 1x2 furring strips and then a 2x4 post. As you'll see later, once we set the targets up, you'll see exactly how these can be utilized and how they can go and further your training development. When I first got into this, I knew that I was going to add steel to them later on in the future. However, I didn't want to get steel to start with, so I grabbed their bases. And the reason I did that is I put my 1x2 furring strips and I shoot on cardboard. The reason I recommend, as from an instructor basis, not jumping into steel right off the bat is you can develop and start training bad habits. So if your fundamentals aren't completely there, you're not really able to track your hits, so to speak, when you start shooting on steel. Yes, you get that audible ping knowing that you hit the target, but where exactly are you hitting the target? Where are you holding your dot when you're going to engage those targets and stuff like that? Where are you setting your optic at varying distances? What's your holdover? How far of a placement do you need to be to make sure that you hit rounds on target? If all you're really doing is shooting and listening for that ping, you can be developing bad habits. Okay, so first steps that you'll do when assembling is you'll slide it into the 20-inch round base. I adjust the right and left first, and then I adjust like the forward pressure here in the back. Once I get this up and straight and there's no movement out of the way so that I know everything is like situated, then I move to the top bracket. Top bracket is really cool and very innovative. Their old style of top bracket was 1 piece. Their new style of top bracket is 2 pieces, as you can see here on the side where they have their 4 indexing screws. If you shoot with people who aren't super great accuracy wise, or they're newer shooters to shooting, right, and let's say they strike your target from this side, or they strike it from the back side, or they strike it from the front, and you completely mangle your 2x4, this will come apart. You loosen these screws and the system pulls apart together. I think that's a really ingenious idea, because I have had targets in the past that the top bracket gets shot and you have to purchase a whole new top bracket because you can't get the top bracket off the 2x4. So the guys over at TA Target have kind of thought this through, and their 2-piece design is really ingenious. Yep. All right, so the next step, once the top bracket's on there, right, we're set up. Now, hopefully I don't drop this on my toe because that wouldn't feel good. As you can see, there's different adjustments that you can get in here, and this definitely helps if you have another person. All right, there we go. Now, once it's in there, you put your little cotter pin in. As you can see, there's multiple holes, and what it allows is it allows for more cant. So the higher that it goes, the more cant it's going to have. So for pistols, you'll want it to be facing, I have it in the highest configuration, so you'll want it to be facing kind of like more forward, so that you can actually see. If you're shooting at distance, or you're shooting at any kind of angle where you have this set up at a higher elevation, you're going to want it to be more cant. And the way to get more cant is raise the platform, or raise the target system higher up on your hanger, and that, like I said, will give you more cant. But the good thing about this, with there being multiple adjustments, is you can micro adjust this thing. So like the further down you go, a little bit more cant that it goes. The higher up you go, the more up and down it goes. But the other good thing that comes with it is when you strike the plate, it gives it some area to swing, and it has a little bit of a pendulum effect. The really good thing about that is when you hit, if you're standing behind or in front of the target and you're shooting at it, it doesn't allow, because the impact pushes the round, all your spall and all your splatter goes down into the ground. Unlike other targets where if you do a direct impact, it potentially can hit, because it's sitting perfectly up and down. It hits, there's no way to absorb any of that recoil or that pressure from the round, and it sends everything straight back into the shooters, or it'll hit and kind of fly off to the sides at 45-degree angles. All right, initial unboxing is done. Our first impressions are good. Looks like a very stout system. Now we're gonna head out to the range and throw some lead at it and see how it holds up. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Bear. We're out here at the range again. All right, so we got both our TA targets up. As you can tell, they are no longer white. I painted this one red to represent rifle, so red for rifle, purple for pistol. I've got some guys coming out to shoot with me, but this is the live fire iteration, if you guys want to call it that, where we're gonna test these out and throw some lead at them. Stay tuned for the remainder of the video. All right, guys, so I'm getting ready to shoot. The first test that I'm going to do, I have some frangible ammo here that I'm going to try out. I've been told frangible ammo works better on steel targets. It reduces the chance of spalling, pitting, and stuff like that. So I'm going to try it out. Gun that I'm going to be using today is going to be a Beretta 92 FS. We'll see what it does. I am currently at the 10-yard line or 30 feet, and I'm going to shoot and engage on the right target to start, and then we'll switch to pistol, and then, we'll switch to rifle. And for rifle, I'm going to use some 55 grain, and then under that I have some 60 grain soft point ammo. Again, just trying out some different loads, testing. I need to make sure that my rifle rounds are under 3,000 feet per second. I hand load my own rounds, so my rounds are sitting roughly between 27 and 2,900 feet per second, and then the 60 grain soft point should be right around 2,750, 2,800. So we're going to test those out, and then I'll let you guys know how it goes. All right, so as you can see, right at 30 yards, I'm hitting. You can definitely see where the rounds are impacting. However, it's not like denting or pitting, and it gives a very audible ping. Now, granted, I am using frangible ammo right now. There could be different markings once I switch to like my round nose full metal jackets, the non-frangible ammunition. But with it looking right now, right, the further back you get, the less you're gonna see impact wise, the further out you go. But it's pretty simple. Just grab some spray paint, spray over the top of these. I didn't have any ricochets or anything like that. I could probably get closer with my frangible ammo, but as you can tell, this is a very good way to enhance your shooting capabilities, is hitting steel. You get a real nice ping every time you hit, and you know for a fact that you're actually hitting what you're shooting at. All right, so we move back to the 30-yard line or 90 feet. All right, I'm gonna shoot on the rifle target now. So I just have my custom built AR 16-inch. I've got a Vortex 1-6 on here, and then a Hollow Sun
I don't remember what model the Holosun is. And then an Enforce Light. This is just a standard barrel, or standard heavy barrel, 16 inch. So again, key, like very important thing, like I stated earlier, is when we start shooting on steel targets, right, make sure that you follow the minimum safe distances on the steel targets, right, especially with rifle, because if you get too close, you might not necessarily see sprawl or like have ricochets, but you definitely will fuck your targets up. You'll pit them, you can blow holes through them. So like, make sure you follow the manufacturer's recommended safe distances. So again, first up, we're going to shoot 5 rounds of the 55 grain full metal jacket, and then after that is going to be 5 rounds of the 60 grain soft points. In between each 5 round iteration, we'll go down and we'll show the hits. So those are the 5 shots with 55 grain full metal jacket. We'll head down and we'll check and see what the impacts look like. Okay, so as you can see, I shot 5 rounds. I shot over my 4th round. I shot over the left shoulder. My hold was just a little off. However, like, my impacts are good. I did hit. You can definitely tell like where the round impacted, so it hasn't damaged the target. I probably should back up another 10-15 yards just to be like fully safe, because if you know anything about TA targets, right, they make a very superior product than other steel company manufacturers, right? However, over time, the closer you start to shoot, you are going to wear out your targets, right? So like, if you want to continue to maximize your training, like, add more distance when you shoot rifle, all right? It'll give you the ability to preserve the life and longevity of your steel targets. These are cool too, because you can on both targets, you can take the hardware off and flip the target over. So eventually, you know, and we're talking 10s, 20, 30,000 rounds, the plate will start to concave and kind of push back on itself, because you're having a lot of kinetic energy smack into this. Well, the cool thing about this is once that starts happening, you pop these 2 bolts out, flip the target around, and you can shoot on the fresh side behind. Then once you've done that, you flip it over again, hopefully flip it back, and then at that point, you know, you'll have to get a new target. But we're talking, that's, you know, 10 to 20 years worth of real hard use. For the average shooter, if you don't own an actual range, like, these targets are buy once, cry once. You spend the money up front, you get a superior product, and then that product will last you hopefully your entire shooting career. You know, you might have to rebuy them once. Now, with that being said, though, we are going to head back to I am going to back up probably another 10 yards just to see if the impacts change with the 60 grain soft points. We are going 5 grains heavier on a bullet, and it is a soft point instead of a full metal jacket. So I'm kind of curious to see what it will do impact wise, and I'm going to try and shoot on the lower third of the target, so we know, like, hey, this is the first group I shot and this is the second group. So we'll head back to the firing line, and then we'll continue this video. Of course, I hit in the same fucking spot. right, so I didn't hold right the first one, so my first one landed here, and then my next 4 were down here. So to me, I can't really tell like there's much, if any, of a distance, right? Like they're both impacting it the same. The only thing that we can kind of see a difference maybe is the splash on the 62 grain soft points is a little bit smaller. And what I mean by like the splash is like the way that the round impacts into the target is a tiny bit smaller. That could also be that we went up 5 grains in bullet weight, or it could be that we backed up another 10 yards. But like I said, stick with the manufacturer's recommendations on how far to shoot with, and definitely make sure that you pay attention to having your ammunition be under 3,000 feet per second. Is it necessarily going to blow through the target if it is above 3,000 feet per second? No, not necessarily. Now, I do not by any means recommend using steel core or armor penetrator rounds or anything like that, because those, if they don't go through, they will definitely jack up your targets. But again, I'm very excited that we have these targets out here. The guy that I was talking to at TA Targets, I can't thank him enough for reaching out to me and being willing to exchange some emails. And the owner of TA Targets, you know, he spoke to the owner on my behalf. So I'm also really thankful that the owner decided, you know, to even have a conversation with Brandon about like the conversations that Brandon and I had. You know, like their customer service is phenomenal. I can't recommend TA Targets enough for you guys. We're gonna put another probably 250 to 300 rounds on these again, and we'll try and do like a 500 round and then a 1,000 round review or a follow-up later on about these targets. But right now, I would definitely recommend, like, wholeheartedly get you a pair of TA Targets or a single stand or anything like that from TA Targets. The company is fantastic. All right, guys, well, I appreciate you watching this far. This concludes today's video. Again, I highly recommend both of these or this company for targets. So if you're trying to further enhance your training abilities, definitely give TA Targets a look. They provide a really superior steel target if that's what you're looking for. Just always remember, wise words from Bear: fight hard, train accordingly, you're never out of the fight.
All right.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Wait, what?
Because I already have the video going.
Oh. We say again, the unboxing. Jesus, this is why I write shit down, bro.
Yeah.
Difficulties here.
Yeah, we can cut this out too.